nobody out there. Everybody was either in here or they were in the Winnebago. Interesting one. I mean, I've got to, I have to admit that I don't actually have a definitive explanation for that.
Tonight's vigil has had a profound effect on the housemates from Palmer's Green.
There's just been too many bizarre things tonight that's happened, too many things that I just can't explain.
To see things happening myself that I'm not sure if I would believe it if someone told me, but to actually experience it makes me a bit more open-minded, I think, to things.
The following day, everyone's thoughts turned to the Buddha in Maria's bedroom and how it got there.
It's going to be very difficult to actually come up with any kind of definitive explanation for what happened there. Maybe there really are such things as poltergeists, and that was an example of poltergeist activity. Maybe there's a more natural explanation.
I'm quite bewildered by what we have got here. I've done probably hundreds of investigations over the years, and I've never come across activity like that that's happened within one night.
In my head, I can't come up with a reasonable explanation of how the Buddha got into my room.
I was trying to sit afterwards, coming up with rational explanations, saying it must have been one of the crew, they must have brought it up and thrown it on the floor to try and scare us.
But we've gone over it ourselves and have said, well, think about where the crew were standing in the room when it happened, and they were nowhere near where the Buddha landed. And I think the crew themselves were visibly shaken. In my opinion, they looked really scared.
I don't think I'd be able to ever be in this house by myself again after the experience we experienced last night.
We have checked all cameras recording at the time the ornaments hit the floor.
Fuck me.
What the hell was that?
And have found no evidence to indicate how the Buddha got there. After an unnerving vigil, believing they witnessed objects being moved, Mia and Andy are convinced that the flat is haunted. Even Chris is intrigued. Mia believes there's only one way to get rid of a ghost, by performing a clearing ceremony, an ancient practice used by many cultures worldwide to expel evil spirits. Mia says she'll summon the ghost terrorizing the flat, and with the help of her spirit guide Eric, send it over.
Okay, so this is the clearing. And what will happen is that I will basically leave my body, walk around your flat and try and bring whatever's here back to the room. Whatever happens is transient, it will pass. Are you ready then?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, let's do it. Now I'm in the hall by the front door, the door that goes out. For some reason I've stopped there. On the top of the stairs I can see a mist. It's coming together. I can see the outline of somebody. I can see a young guy, late 20s, early 30s. He's got a shirt on with sleeves rolled up. On his arm, it's like it's a tattoo, but it looks like a dagger, an old-fashioned dagger. Okay, he's coming in. Standing by the cooker. Okay.
Mia believes the spirit begins to communicate with her.
His name's Steve. Terrible fight, terrible. Loads of people fighting. Like a gang, right? Like loads of people against other people. He was stabbed. Stabbed in the back. But he died here. He's lost his brother. Get the name David. I don't know if that's his brother, but somebody else called David was around when he died that he should have been looking after or should have been there for. Show me a date. It's either 1957 or 67. I'm seeing 19 and a 7 on the end, and I can't get the middle digit. He's getting confused now. He's talking about you helping him find his brother. It's you two he's been looking for, trying to get attention of. But he's confused because he's still back in his time. Very frustrated that it was him that hit you because he was trying to get your attention.
Was he here when we did the seance?
He's laughing at that, yeah. Nothing happened. He was around already watching it, a bit like this. I can see a doorway opening up.
Mia claims that when she sees the image of a door, the spirit is ready to pass over.
He's going in.
She now says an ancient prayer for the dead.
De profundus clamavi et te Domini, Domini exaudi vocem meam, fiant oras tuae, intendentes invocium, deprecationis meae, si iniquiatus observers, Domini, Domini quae sustenebi, quae apud Dominum misericordia et copiosa, apud iam redemptio, et ipsae redimit Israel, ex omnibus iniquitibus est ejus. Done.
Now that Steve has passed over, they can all try and make sense of what's happened to him and why he was here.
It must have been some big thing that happened. Big incident. And so all this time, all that stuff that was going on, he's living in like the last 5-7 minutes before he died. And he's trying to get your attention. And the reason he's left you alone is because he obviously thinks, well, he's not going to drag you down to a big fight. So you're probably the youngest one I've had for an awful long time. And he went through it ever so easily. That's lovely. Are you okay?
Yeah. Great.
Much better than I thought. You never know. I really thought it was going to be really heavy after all the stuff that's been going on. And yet, it was a really nice one.
I thought because of all the horrible things that were going on that it was going to be something nasty, or maybe not even a ghost, but some kind of entity that wasn't human or something like that. So it was quite surprising to hear that it was just a kind of a normal guy, really.
I feel a bit of relief at the fact that we didn't sort of call him into the flat in the séance. The fact that Mia said he was already here. We did know there was, well, we felt there was something here before we did it, so that was why we had done it.
But all the emotions and the feelings that have been experienced in this flat were real. You know, they really did have this sense of dread and impending doom. But it was coming from that spirit. But it was, in a way, just his emotions that he'd experienced, they were picking up. It wasn't that he was attacking them with it. And all the interaction was him trying to get their attention. So what looked absolutely like it was going to be demonic or something really bad, you know, it wasn't. It was an ordinary young man that had been caught up in a very bad situation and died tragically.
During the clearing, Mia claims she actually contacted the ghost of a young 1950s gang member called Steve. In 2 weeks' time, our cameras will return to North London to see if the clearing ceremony was successful and if the flatmates believe the ghost of Steve has moved on. 2 weeks later, James and Maria now have mixed reactions to their new home.
It's a much happier place to be now since the clearing, with the exception of one or two small things that have happened. Still heard one or two sounds from Maria's room when she's not been in, and also I've seen, looking at the doorway, it was almost like someone walked past, like the light went black and then back to the light again.
I had one night where I couldn't sleep, and then I kept thinking I could hear things in my bedroom, of all places, which was the one place I always felt fine. I don't know if I'd still feel happy being in the flat on my own, but I don't feel as worried.
Charlie, who seemed the most sensitive to the hauntings, has experienced a complete change.
I'm very surprised in the change, because after the clearing I did think that maybe I'd carry on feeling scared in the flat. After the first couple of days I felt fine. It felt like it had just all been lifted off me, and it was just a big relief. A week after, I really surprised myself, and I think Mia would be really proud of me for doing this. I actually stayed in the house 2 nights in a row by myself and I felt absolutely fine.
It's mixed feelings for North London. Charlie believes that the menacing spirit has gone. However, James and Maria have their doubts. Many of us also have our doubts. Figures that seem to lurk in the shadows. Sinister noises heard in the dark. How often do things seem to move in the night? If you haven't lived in a haunted home yet, maybe one night you will. Sleep well.